this thing on the shelf. Hiya! So I'm back, and I have felt like I've had a super exciting weekend, but I don't know if it would be all that exciting for anyone else. But I don't know, I just had a lot of energy this weekend to do stuff, and I had a lot of excitement about stuff, as you probably saw from my Spyro video. Like, I have a lot of things that I'm just excited about. So one of those things recently was that I ended up getting a piece of furniture that was free. It was one of those friend of a family member's getting rid of some stuff, and what I got was one of those glider rocking chairs that just kind of like glides back and forth, and I've always loved those. Since I was a kid, I loved those rocking chairs. Because I remember my mama had one, and it was so fun when we got to visit her house and I got to sit in the rocking chair. Like, I just loved it. So every time I was in a furniture store, I'd look at them and I'd look at the price tag and I'd be like, okay, I guess I don't really need one of these, and I'm just gonna live my life without one. Well, I got one for free. So this lady was just kind of clearing out a lot of her baby stuff, and I guess she classified this chair as baby stuff. I just think it's wonderful, comfortable stuff, but I did go and pick up this chair, and the fabric on it was worn and torn up, but the chair itself it's in good shape. It's got some wear and tear, but it still is very smooth, and the cushions are still comfortable. So I brought that home Friday, and then Saturday I took all the old fabric off of the matching footstool, and then yesterday I put new fabric on it that I already had in my stash, and I'm really pleased with it. It looks really nice now. It went from looking kind of drab to looking very nice. So I did that last night. I think I almost gave my husband a heart attack because I was using the staple gun, and I didn't tell him I was going to be using the staple gun, and I was sitting like right behind his chair because he was playing Warcraft or Rocket League or something, and I just collected all my stuff and I set up behind him, and then I started shooting the staple gun, and he had a moment of concern. But yeah, I got that done, and then I was like, wow, that went really well, and that was really fast. I guess I can just start on the rest of the chair, because all of the other cushions were separate from the chair. So I was like, those shouldn't be too bad. Well, I started taking all the old fabric off of the foam and the stuffing, because I wanted to start totally fresh. And I ran into a few complications, but also the fabric I wanted to use, I've also pegged that for a different project. And I was like, I think I'll have enough left over to do this chair, but now I'm concerned that I'm gonna use something and I'm gonna regret it. So my solution to that was just start on the other project. So now I have 3 sewing projects just kind of going on for me right now, which is uncommon. Usually I'm just like, I do one and then I set it aside because I didn't have time to finish it. But I'm determined with these. I finally got going good. And that other project is the chair that I believe I showed in a video some long time ago that I'm totally reupholstering. And I think the fabric in that is really cute. But I wanted to use a little bit of that fabric in the rocking chair, partially so they would match and partially just to break up the gray. Because right now I'm just putting a dark gray on it, but I wanted to break it up with more colors. So yeah, I wanted to use some of that fabric, but I didn't want to take anything away from the reupholstering of chair. That seems to matter more, because I'm pretty sure I have enough gray to do whatever I want with. but I have much less of the multicolored. Oh, separate. Ugh. So, I'm excited. I'm just excited. And I kind of want to tear into it right now, but I know that I need groceries, and if I don't go to the grocery store before I get involved in that project, like, we're just not going to have food. Like, it's just not going to happen. So, I believe the other member of the household would appreciate if I went and fetched some food. So, yeah, that's where I stand right now. I'm in a bit of a tangle down here, and okay. Just going for kind of a standard braid today. I've been doing this more often, and I've noticed that in public, which I guess this stands to reason, when my hair is in a braid, I get way more comments. Just general, like, people realize that, oh, her hair is well long, and I get comments on it, which is something that I grew up with, because I've pretty much always had really long hair. I don't know what the deal is, but it reminded me of being a young person, like a teenager and below, and having these exact same comments. Like, they don't change. People don't come up with new ones. It's all the same. But what I get a little bit tickled at is if there's two people shopping together. A lot of times it's like a mother-daughter situation, or just like two people shopping together. One of them notices. They will either try to be discreet but not actually be discreet and start talking about it with the other person that's next to them. Or if I'm close enough, they'll say something to me, and sometimes the other party is just not interested in talking about a stranger's appearance. And so they're just kind of like ignoring the other person. They're like, no, hey, look at her hair, hey. And the other person's just looking at the tomatoes or whatever. And I find that funny because it's odd that someone's hair would elicit such a strong reaction in the first place. So I can understand why their friend or family member just thinks that they're being silly. It's just like, I don't care about this stranger's hair. Usually when they look up, they're like, oh, okay, yes, that's unusual, but they're not like so interested. And also oftentimes the people that are most fascinated by my hair are small children and old people. Like, people over 65 just have great fascination. So that's something I've learned. I don't get as many comments as I used to asking to touch it or just reaching out to touch it. Because that was annoying if I was just in Walmart or somewhere and I'm walking around and all of a sudden someone's just reaching out to touch me and I'm like, what? I don't know you. That doesn't happen as often, and I wonder if it's because I'm adult and they think that I'll actually say something. So I don't know. Sometimes people feel like they can get away with a lot more with kids, but it's just, I didn't put up with it. Even when I was a kid, I was nice, especially if it was like an old lady. I was nice, but it's not something I preferred to happen. But yeah, I don't get those kind of questions nearly as much of like, oh, can I touch it? It's like, no, please don't touch me. I don't know what they expect it to feel like. It just feels like a braid, just like hair. It doesn't feel special. It just is. So, I'm going to show you guys some of the projects I'm working on. La la la. Do 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 do. Let there be light. It's the chair. I didn't know I zoomed in all that time. It is the chair. The chair, the chair. So, I gotta watch my step because there's staples on the floor. Dun dun dun. I've totally made a wreck of this corner. But yeah, I've just started pulling this back and stapling it. So the total back is out, and this needs to be stapled in entirely. But that's as far as I got last night, before it was midnight and it was time to go to bed. But yeah, I think it's looking pretty good so far. As it stands, I need to sew this corner down. I'm going to hand stitch that so it's solid. But yeah, this is the pattern I'm also considering putting on the rocking chair, which I will go show you. Turn the light off. These are some of the parts of the rocking chair. This is as far as I got taking it apart. So I've got, this is the butt cushion arms, and this is like a lumbar back pillow. And this, I started taking it apart, and then I realized that some of this cushion is actually sewn in to the seams. So I'm gonna have to take more of the seams apart, which is okay, because then I can use this fabric as more of a pattern to cut out my new stuff. La 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 la, here's some more leftover fabric. I've just spread this project through the whole house. It opens. Get some light. Da da la la. This, ta-da, is the cushion that I covered last night, which prompted this whole spree of covering things. It's velvety. It's just like velvety softness, and I love it. And I think it looks pretty sharp. So it's a darker gray than it's appearing in the phone right now, but I guess in the camera. But I'm really pleased with it, and I'm pairing it with some of this fabric. As you can see, they're kind of next to each other over here. But I wanted to put a strip of this like in the center back of this pillow. So like this strip here, have it be kind of colorful, because I think that would be more interesting, and then do the arm covers in the same fabric. But yeah, that's what I've been up to beyond my usual work. And I've also started another costume because October is coming up, which for me means costume party. And so I started working on the costume for that, and I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited. I'm not doing just like a really out there costume this year, but I'm still having fun. I'm having fun making something unusual. And after I finish that, I'm going to start working on a bit of fall wardrobe that I never finished making. A couple of dresses, maybe a skirt or two. I've got the fabric, I just need to finish the project. So yeah, that's where we stand. So I'm going to go get some groceries and see how my day goes. Bye.